by faith is the theme of my living, serving God and be faithful till death. When this life is over and the work is ended, Jesus Christ to come and take me home, where there'll be no sorrow, all is peace and joy. Forever we will sing redemption song.
Good afternoon. Where do I start from? First and foremost, let me say thank you very much for a warm welcome, which I started receiving on Thursday when I arrived in Indiana. There was an arrangement for me to be here, but that was next year in May, because I was told Indiana can be harsh in terms of weather during this time of the year. So I was warned that since you're coming from a tropical country, the warm heart of Africa, Amen. Malawi. Amen. So coming during this time, winter, may not be the right time. So we had planned to come that time. But you can't, plan without goals, where. So what happened was, when I came in last year, I started engaging with the Malawi diaspora immediately after my arrival. Because I remember when the children of Israel were taken captives into Babylon, there were still people in Babylon who were still remembering home. Amen. At one time, one person like me visited in Babylon, and one of the exiled, who was doing very well in that land, in the name of Nehemiah, wanted to hear how the people who were left behind are living, the situation, what challenges they are going through. And when Nehemiah heard that the situation is very bad, there are so many challenges. The great church, the great temple was in ruins. The people are suffering. He took upon himself to say, no, I have to do something. Amen. So I decided to engage to Malawi community to say, we have challenges. Most of you came from Malawi. When you are adults, you still remember what Malawi is. You are also listening to the radios, what challenges we are experiencing there. A good citizen would always want to do something Amen. For his people. Amen. So because of that exercise which I undertook, the government of Malawi has complemented that effort. So they sent a team of senior government officials to meet the diaspora. We had the first meeting in New York, and then the second meeting we had it in DMV. It was held in Virginia, where we had Minister of Foreign Affairs and a contingent group from the corporate, especially the private sector, and also the ministry from the investment and development. So this time they have sent another team. The deputy governor of Reserve Bank of Malawi is actually leading the team, accompanied by the chief executive officer of Malawi Investment and Trade Center, and then a direct Minister of Foreign Affairs desk. The three, they arrived on Chur. I joined them in Texas, where we had a very successful meeting with Malawians there. And then the next meeting is here in South Bend. It is this evening, because we had to pray first before holding the meeting. Amen. Because you have to be part of that meeting. Amen. If it was done in the morning, you were not going to be there, because you're God-fearing people. You'll be here worshiping God. So we agreed, we started in the evening. So anytime from 5 o'clock, we are starting the meeting. And then tomorrow, early hours, we'll be flying to Washington, in Seattle, where we are going to have our last meeting. Thereafter, on Monday, I'll be going back to DC, Washington, DC, District of Columbia. But I want to thank you very much, especially the leaders of this church, for actually planning that I should be here. When they heard that I'm coming here, elders one, Pastor Mbewe, Pastor Soko, quite a number of people, not forgetting Pastor Chimwanjere. In English, the man who drinks salt. Chimwanjere. All these people, they planned that I should be here. I tried to do the Jonah's way. But because I said, we agreed in May, they said, no. We don't know what will happen in May. Since you are here, please join us. So I want to say thank you very much for this arrangement, but I'm also grateful that you people, you're wonderful people. You are still maintaining the church, Malawi Church. If you have never visited Malawi, Malawi is a warm heart of Africa. The whole Africa. I want to say those who are not from Malawi, Malawians, but they are Amidisas, you're most welcome. Malawi indeed is a home heart of Africa. This afternoon, briefly, although I've been introduced as a preacher, let me tell you, I'm not a preacher. Possibly I'm a talker, someone who makes noise. But when it comes to preaching, this is a special assignment for special people. And those who have the title of pastors, they know how to feed the flock. But a person like me, I wouldn't claim to be a preacher, but I enjoy sharing what I'm able to share with. The title of my presentation or discussion, I've called it, "We Are Nearing Home." It's time to wake up. Someone sang a song that this world is not my home. And all Christians believe that this is not our home. It's another home. There's a home for us. And we started the journey going to this home when we became Christians. And Paul is telling us that we are near that home. So the two apostles, Peter and Paul, they have a message for us this afternoon. Possibly before I start sharing with you, let us bow our heads and give thanks to God. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for granting us opportunity to come together on this holiday, the Sabbath, to come and listen to your word, to come together and share your word. We ask you, Lord, as we start sharing your word, make my explanation understood to all of us here. In the name of our Lord Jesus, we pray. Amen. Amen. Peter is appealing to us as his brothers and sisters to always remember that we're strangers here. We are traveling. We have a destination where we are going. We are not yet there. So, in his reminding, he's also warning us that we must, as much as possible, refrain from the fleshly lusts, which is always at war with our spiritual life. Whether we like it or not, we are at war. That war is about us not to get where we want to go. Christ came and promised that he's going to prepare a place for us where we're going to live in eternity. A place where we are not going to weep, where we are not going to cry, where we are going to live happily. So Peter is saying, please, continue moving. But his friend, Apostle Paul, in Romans chapter 13, which was read, he's talking of the time now. Paul is saying the time is now. If we are talking of, we are almost there, some 10 years ago, believe it is just around the corner. And Paul is reminding us to wake up, because he has actually realized and discovered that most Christians today are sleeping. They don't bother about spiritual issues. People, what they matter about is material things. How do I make money? And people today, they have resolved in making money, even in the dirty way. They don't care. They don't fear God. The commandment of God to them is nothing. So Paul is saying, please, our salvation is near now than we first believed. Who is the salvation? It's Jesus Christ. He's almost there. And he's talking of the night is nearly over. The day is almost there. The night represents the power of Satan. The devil's time is almost gone. And the day is almost there, which represents Christ. Christ is almost there to take over his authority and power. Yes, he said, the authority and power has been given to me up there and here. But until his second coming, the devil is still the master of this world. So Paul is reminding us, let us behave decently as in the daytime, not in partying or drunkenness, not in sexual immorality and debauchery, not in dissension and jealousy. Rather, we should clothe ourselves with the Lord Jesus. And do not think about how to gratify the desires of your flesh. This is not time. Let me tell you, brothers and sisters, that every time we delay making decision for Christ, our time is being stolen. We lose it to the devil. Time is money. Those people, you people who are living in this country, you don't play with time. In Malawi, we play with time. Not here. So you understand the importance of time. That's why here, when I ask anybody, anywhere, including here, how long will it take me to drive from South Bend to Indianapolis? In Malawi, the answer would be 150 kilometers. But here, you say it's 2 hours, 30 minutes. You are actually equating distance with time, not with miles. Because you can have 20 miles, you can decide to walk 20 miles, 5 hours. Someone can decide to walk the same distance, 2 hours. So the miles has nothing to do, but it's the time you have actually with you. How long do you want to spend in terms of time? So don't procrastinate, because every time you delay making a decision, you are allowing the devil to steal your time. And once that time is stolen, you cannot recover that. Christian life is the greatest journey of all believers. The moment you decide, you choose to be a Christian, you have started on that great journey. And this journey is not easy or exciting or fun. Not at all. It's a difficult journey. But the final destination, we know, is heaven. Because we have been promised that there will be New Jerusalem for us, where we are not going to build houses. because the houses are already there. God has built them. This promise was given by Jesus Christ to us. But let me also share the first ancient Christians, the Israelis. They were also promised a land for them. And they started a journey from Egypt, going to the promised land. Soon after leaving Egypt, when they were so excited that we were going, discovered that there were challenges before them. There was the Red Sea in front of them. Behind them, there was the soldiers of Pharaoh chasing them. Immediately when they saw those challenges, instead of praying to their God, who made it possible for them to start this journey, they started shouting to their leaders, screaming to Moses, "Look at what is happening." And God assured them through Moses and said, "Tell the children to move on." Likewise, this journey which we have taken, there are so many challenges that are actually fighting against the values and the beliefs of Christianity. But we should always do as Moses did. We should look to God. And God is saying, move forward. After being saved on the Red Sea, few days later, they came to another place where they discovered that there was no water for them and their livestock to drink. Instead of reflecting on what just happened a few days ago, this group of people suddenly started shouting, "Why have you taken us into this wilderness to die of thirst? You should have just left us there." God assured them. God made provisions for the children of Israel. We are meeting similar challenges. But after moving from this spot where they cried for water, it did not take them long before they said, no. That country, that land which we were promised, is not for us. Because the people who are there, we can't match their powers. You see, the problem of a human being, the moment you don't trust, you don't believe, you don't obey God, every time you meet the smallest challenge, you are always complaining. You won't push the blame to that one, not me, that one and that one and that one. And this is not only the ancient children of Israel, but even ourselves. We are also Israelis by adoption. We are children of Jacob. We are grandchildren of Abraham. The children of Israel were promised land of Canaan by God. However, by their own conversations, built more fear. They developed doubt. They no longer trusted God. They could not believe in His promises. Yes, they had been traveling in the desert, living off the land. There were no stores to shop at, no new clothing or shoes. They had nothing, just the basics, which were all from God's mercy, grace, provisions, love, and protection. That's what they had. However, they could not see God. They couldn't see His provisions. They could not see His protection. They could not even trust Him to keep His promise. They couldn't see God. Who said, I'm taking you to a new land, to a promised land? They couldn't see him taking them there because slight challenges like lack of water, they forgot. They couldn't believe God. They were prepared now to go back to Egypt, where they were treated like slaves, and yet these were the children of God. They failed to believe God. What were the consequences of their unbelief, mistrust, and disobedience to God? Let me tell you, not one of them who left Egypt, a grown-up person, entered the promised land. They were all wasted and died in the desert because of their unbelief, because of lack of trust, because of disobeying God, because of not seeing God as someone who's going to fulfill the promises he had made with them. Now, Paul is reminding us that we are not different from those. We are also travelers. We are pilgrims. We are on our journey, and our destination is the promised land. Amen. But if we are not careful, we end up like those people. We will not get there. We can fill this place, singing praises, enjoying what we're doing, but if we don't have a purpose, if we have no destination, if we don't understand God, if we don't believe in this God, we just do these things just to enjoy ourselves here, we will not get there. Because the promised land, which Jesus Christ promised us, is for only those people who trust God, who believe in God, who obey God's commandments, who are prepared to do what God is telling them to do. Paul is saying time is running out. No more sleeping. We must move on. We must wake up from our carelessness. We are careless, Christians. We are Christians, possibly on a Sabbath. But during our day-to-day business in the week, we take off the apparels of Christianity, we hang them here, and we put them on today when we come here. So Paul is saying, please, that is being careless. We must actually wake up from ungratefulness. Sometimes we don't see God's blessings, what God has done for us. And we are always ungrateful, we are complaining. Maluza lipa. God, after Adam and Eve failed to live per his commandment in the Garden of Eden, he actually pronounced it that you are going to eat your sweat. So any country, any society, any place where people don't work hard, they are actually disobedient to God's commandment. This country, when I came last year, is where I learned, that's why this great country, people are prospering. The country is prospering because there's no time to play. In Malawi, sorry, to those, I said Malawi is the warm heart of Africa. Yes, indeed. But we have got our own problems. One of the problems is we are careless. Officers, 3 people can sit down in an office where they are supposed to work and start gossiping. Don't you have better things to do? You want to be talking of accidents? Is this better? Are you going to be paid for doing that? Not here. Here I try to call Mr. Jefuniru Khaula and say, hello. He will say, oh, sorry, I'm busy. I'll come back to you. Not every time is for telephone talking. Every time as we go, it's got purpose. So Paul is saying, we must be grateful. The reason why we have to work hard is his commandment. We must wake up from stupid and indifferent to eternal things. Eternal things, the Sabbath is a holy day for God. We need to make sure that we respect it. Because this is the day when we come and God is ready to open full throttle to listen to us. Not that he doesn't listen to us on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. No. But this is the day, special, given. This is holy day, special, set aside. So we need to wake up, to appreciate. We must wake up from laziness to God's cause. God has a purpose. Actually, the lesson today and last week, we're talking of elect. We are elect. Don't forget, Paul, on this, not Paul, but Peter, when he was talking about, please, my beloved, you must remember that you are strangers. This message is coming from the same chapter, verse 9, where he said, you are a chosen generation. You are not ordinary people. You are a royal priesthood. His own people, special, peculiar, and we are chosen for a purpose, that you should go out there, tell the people the message of God. How you came out from darkness and entered into his marvelous light. That's the purpose. So every time where we are working, we are driving, we are going a passenger, we should always remember that we are there to actually talk about God, to explain to other people what God has done for us. Now, let me conclude my discussion. As I said earlier on, the Christian life is a pilgrim life. We are aliens and strangers on this earth, traveling to New Canaan. A traveler doesn't live according to the customs and standards of the foreign land. If you're traveling, from even in our own setup, Malawi, if you are coming from, I'm privileged in Malawi because I'm one of the few Malawians who has lived in most of the cultures of Malawi. I've worked, my working life, I've worked across the country. When I'm in Karonga, nikuyoa kiangonde, une skafunje mutupu, dili mkaronga. When I'm in Rumpi, Fumu Yesu, ndapulika, njemo inu, ureka nkwiza, ekuwevenge, njemo iyo, parandavu, undiranto, sono Yesu nkwiza, Yesu sono, Yesu nkwiza kwinu, Yesu nkwiza kwinu, Utasiwi, Yesu ngumwe, Yesu ngumwe, Yesu ngumwe, Yesu nipokere, emuchizi. I can do that. When I'm in Mzimba, where the Ngunis are, I'm a Marihopa. My late wife was given this Jongo, Anyankosi. When I'm down in my own homeland, you know what I am. Namaroko. Now, what am I trying to say here? I'm saying, when you're a stranger, I was in Karonga, but I never forgot that I'm coming from Chur. I'm coming from Chilazo. Even those people who are in Blantyre, from Rumbi, from Lilongwe, they don't forget. They actually preserve their culture, their values. I'm in this country, not like you. No. It was not my wish to come here. I didn't come here for greener pasture. No. Neither did I come here to study. No. I have been sent to this country to represent my country. I'm the representative of Malawi. I represent the president. That's why when I'm here only, I'm addressed as His Excellency. Because the president is not here, but I represent the president. So someone said, because he's represented, he's the president. No. A representative is always a representative. But you have the privilege of the one you are what? Representing. Amen. We represent Christ here. Are we Christ? No. We can't say, oh, Abu Sandino. Yes. No. But he's representing Christ. Amen. So I'm here as a representative of Malawi. I have values. I have beliefs of Malawi. And my role here is to protect, as an ambassador, I'm supposed to protect the interest, the values, the beliefs of Malawi. Amen. When I'm speaking, some people who are here, because they are not representing the country per se, they can say anything. Oh, Malawi is a stupid country. I can't say that. I will always tell the people the good side of Malawi, because Malawi has got a good side. Amen. Amen. That's true. So I will always tell them what, when they get there, they'll find in Malawi. And I will tell you, last year only, it was the year, because every time I was meeting, people from here, everybody wanted to go to Malawi. And when they came back to my office and said, I'm telling you, someone actually said, Ambassador, you were telling us that people in Malawi are poor. Possibly you're right. But what I saw in Malawi is there's a lot of money there. You find there's a lot of wealth in Malawi. I'm going back there. This time I want to take my wife, my children. My role is to represent. So, as a stranger traveling, I cannot live according to the customs and standards of the foreign place. No. How beautiful, sweet it is. The reason why we have our customs, our culture, is the way God wanted us to be like that. Why most of you people, when you have children here, you don't want to teach them your language? Why? I want to tell you, these people from America, when they get to Malawi, they are going to learn Chichewa. Their children are going to learn Chichewa. But they will never forget their language here. But you people here have gone to many houses of Malawians. They are very even proud to say, hey, Anato, I bought another conqueror, no? And yes, so you're proud. You're proud. It's not good. It's not good. You understand one thing. Yes, you're in America. You may have an American passport, a green card, but you're not American. Amen. You are still Malawians. Amen. You must represent Malawi. Yes. The children of Israel, when they were a small family, they grew up in Egypt. But their parents always reminded them, there's a home. Yes. And those people, they maintained the language. That's why they're still speaking Jewish language. Amen. If they had forgotten in Israel, they would have been speaking Arabic. Amen. Why are you selling your children? Why? Why? And you are so proud about it. Yes, let me tell you, a child can learn even 5 languages at the same time.
Amen. Amen.
They can learn that.
Amen.
Don't be cheated. That kama yakula chichewaji, sama yakula chizungu. Chizungu sio jiba kanja bwinosi. Ona kuzo. Kuposta jindu yakula. No. So, a traveler doesn't live according to the customs and standards of the foreign country. Pilgrims don't get attached to the country they are passing through. No. They don't attach to that. Because they have a destination in mind. And they look forward to getting there. If they pass through a scenic, attractive area, they will enjoy the beauty, but they won't decide to move there. Yes, this country is beautiful. It's sweet. You have everything. Beautiful cars. Everybody can own anything. Sure. Don't forget your Malawians.
Amen.
Kumus kukuita. Ndabwirira nkani yaje meneno. Kumus. I'm not saying you go and live there. No. You can continue living here. You know, we have Indians in Malawi who are making money. But do you know where they eat that money? They take that money and eat it at home. They live in Malawi. They have been there. Some of them, they are 3rd, 4th generation. Even the white man, the British. Do you know that these countries from Europe, in Europe, they have built those cities using the wealth from Africa? Are you aware of that? The gold from Africa, the crops from Africa. There was at one time, the British were boasting that it's the empire where the sun doesn't set. And when they're there, what they gave us is peanut. 70 years when they came to Malawi, when it was the called Nyaswan, to the time they moved in 1964, it was 71 years. But what did they do? They couldn't develop that country. I'm not talking politics, you must understand. I'm just giving you an insight of what. Why? Because they were making money there for their country. You're making money. I'm telling you, even if you just decide, dollars, the money, you can develop that country. If they stop at a nice hotel, I'm talking of the travelers, they don't start hanging pictures on the wall and settling in that hotel. Now they know it's a short while. This is not the place. They have a transient mentality that affects how they live on the trip. That's a traveler. Too many believers today are still sleeping, not understanding that they are pilgrims. Now is the time to wake up. Sometimes we join the group of depressed people, hopeless people, people without hope. Don't we have hope? Our hope is Christ. We know where we're going. Yes, challenges are there, but we know where we're going. Amen. Are we not aware of that? We know. So we don't need to live like hopeless ones. We don't need to live like disobedient people. Pachitumbu kamani na kuti sin, they define as uchikana marango. Uchikana marango. Pachitumbu kwa tunu. Pachichewa mati kusamvera. Pachilomwe kanine kuti chani? Simuchimba.
Odia maru. Odia maru.
Odia maru. So palibechi, there's no language that is not defining sin. Sin is unlawlessness. Anybody who wants to live without laws doesn't take the law of God and be part of it. That's a sinner. So we shouldn't live like disobedient unbelievers, always grumbling and disparate. Chiri chose kudandawo. Chiri chose kudandawo. You know, today the church of the Christian church. It has joined the bandwagon of ordinary people. Instead of preaching the word, the reason why we have problems in Malawi is the church has lost its role. It has lost its role. Amen. Malawi and the people of Malawi, when they traveled in Africa or outside Africa, they were respected. They were looked upon as, the trustworthy people. Because that time education was handled by the church. But no more today. I remember when I went to school in UK, I went there without a visa. Because Malawi was granted to travel to UK without visa. When I entered the UK, it was during the election. I was automatically, as a member of the Commonwealth, allowed to vote in UK. Because Malawi was trusted. But when we changed our character, today, you can't get into UK without a visa. Why? The church, actually, you cannot differentiate between a Christian and non-Christian today. That's why we are asked to wake up from slumber. We are called upon to wake up, and we are supposed to be ambassadors of Christ in this hopeless world. As an ambassador of God, just as an ambassador of Malawi, my message is there's hope in Malawi. There are opportunities for you. Likewise, as an ambassador of Christ, people we know they are hopeless. They don't know where to go. We need to give them hope. We need to assure them that God is looking at them. He's there. He hasn't gone to sleep. We need to support them. Matthew 24 gives us the signs of the end time, which each and every person is able to see. Yet we are busy with our lives and emotions, which are out of control. Let us get back to the basics. We go back and start again. What we need is a surgery on our soul and our heart. We need to start again. It has to be corrected if we are to live spiritual life. Otherwise, we're going to experience spiritual cardiac arrest and die. We need to prepare for, we do not know when the bridegroom will come. My appeal is, let us put on the clothes of the day. Yes, we all have weaknesses, but we are called to confess our weaknesses and put on the full armor of God. Amen. May God help us to understand His word, and to Him be glory and praise. Amen. Mulungu wathu wokonda amene muli kumwamba, zikomo kwambiri chifukwa cha nthawi yabwino imene munatipasa. Mulungu wathu, ndizoona tili pa ulendo wopita ku Ziyoni, dziko lopambana limene mukutikonzera. Mulungu wathu, Satana ndi wochenjera komanso ndi wopusa. Chifukwa iye cholinga chake ndikuti ife tikalephere kupita kumeneko. Kwa Mulungu wathu mwapadera, ndikupemphani tithandizeni nanu. Mwina tinagona, mzimu wanu ukatidzutse kutulo toopsa, kuti Mulungu wathu tikayambenso kuyenda ulendo umene tinapumira. Chifukwa tikudziwa posachedwa pa mukhala mukuyandikira pompano, mukubwera kuzanira kuti kwatha. Isanafike nthawi imeneyo, Mulungu wathu, mfumu ya ulemerero, tithandizeni kuti tikafike kumeneko. Masana ano mpingo wanu kuno ku Michiana, Malawi, thandizani abale ndi alongo, ana ndi atsungwana, kuti siku lina lache ngati sitithanso kukumana pompano, mukatolere tikakumane mu Yerusalemu watsopano, titapulumutsidwa tikuyimba nzoona tili mu usiku wabwino. Mulungu thandizeni, dalisani wina aliyense, mukadalise ana athu amene Mulungu mwatipasa ngati mphaso, akakhale zida zathu zokathandiza kufalitsa uthenga wanu. Mpingo wanu atsogolera achali pano, Mulungu wathu mukadalise kuti akalimbikise chikhalidwe chakumwamba, akalimbikise zipambano zakumwamba, kuti mapeto ache Mulungu wathu tikakhala opambana. M'dzina la Yesu tipempha. Amen.
Jesus is coming again, coming again, coming again. My Jesus is coming again.